Today we would understand what is air mass and fronts. So air mass are basically large homogeneous mass of air that is present over a huge area. Now when we talk about air mass, there are few terms that we need to understand. First is the source region. Source region means from where it originates. So if it is originating from a tropical area, we say it's a tropical air mass. If it's originating from the polar area, we say it's a polar air mass. So that's how we understand the source region. Now air mass can be further classified into various types. I can say based on the origin, it could be either the tropical region or the polar region. So let's say I have a globe here. It can originate close to the equator, so it would be tropical. If it originates close to the poles, it would be the polar air mass. The next important thing that we need to understand is it can originate in the ocean, which is the maritime, and it can originate in the continent or the land, which is the continental. So we have either maritime or continental. Now doing a kind of cross tabulation for these, we can understand the four types of air masses that could be formed. It could be tropical, polar, maritime and continental. So it could be tropical maritime, it could be polar maritime, it could be tropical continental, and it could be polar continental, polar maritime, and it could be polar continental. So what we are trying to understand here is this polar continental can be further continental polar or polar continental, whatever you want to say, and the next is the continental Arctic. So these are the various types of air masses that we can understand. The next important term is fronts. So fronts is basically the boundary that is being formed between a warm and a cold air mass, and it is known as front. If there is a kind of formation that is taking place, we call it as the front formation that is taking place, we call it as a process of frontogenesis. Genesis means origin. If instead of genesis I put lysis, that means destruction. So frontolysis shows destruction of front, frontogenesis shows formation of front. This front can again be divided into various types. It could be warm front, cold front, stationary front and occluded front. Stationary front, as the name suggests, it remains stationary. Occluded front, you have the air mass that lifts above the ground. The warm front, basically the warm air moves over the cold air, and the cold air pushes the warm air, and that's what you have as the cold front. So these are the types of fronts, the basic definition of understanding the air mass and the fronts. Thank you.